Hi, I'm Tom Stevenson and welcome to Construction Project Management Tips. Today we're going to be looking at what does it take to run a successful construction business? What are the different parts and how do they fit together? So let's dive in. When we're thinking about a construction business, there are all kinds of sectors that construction is involved in. You might be building condominiums that are multi-story, that are made out of reinforced concrete. You might be building community centers, these types of projects, infrastructure projects. You might be building residential houses. You might be doing renovations. There's all kinds of different specialized sectors. The larger construction companies, they kind of specialize in certain niches, but they may be involved in a wide swath. But rarely, if ever, will you find a construction business that does every type of construction. There's usually limitations, no matter how big the construction business is, to what they want to get involved with. Well, why is that? Well, one business can't know everything about a multitude of different things, and it's hard to compete with businesses that specialize and focus in on certain areas. So you might build custom homes, low-rise residential. You might do renovations. You might do renovations and custom homes, depending on your geographical location. There's all kinds of different variables that come in. But usually if you try to do everything, you're not great at anything. So there's that aspect that needs to be considered as well to run a successful business. The other thing is you really have to know and understand who are your clients, right? Know your clients and what they want. What will it be that adds value to them? If you really understand that and you're able to deliver on that, you're going to have a successful construction business because you're going to have a lot of repeat business that comes in as a result. We can use the Pareto principle, which I talk about often, but fully you want to have 80% of your clients be or more be repeat clients. You want clients for life. You want clients, and the phrase has been used, I think Ken Blanchard wrote a book on it, raving fans. You want clients that are really sort of singing your praises, and that's going to make it that much more easy to repeat those kind of projects and grow your business because word of mouth spreads very quickly. But if we're going to look at a construction business, there's a lot of different sort of areas. And I did this mind map. I've done it several mind maps for construction and how it works, and I think it's a pretty good way of illustrating the different components. We could break this up into various areas such as purpose, financials, external environment, marketing, people and culture, or human resource management, if you will, and operations. You can sort of look at, well, each one of these has a lot of things that's involved to make it run well. We really have to know that sense of purpose, have a vision. Where do we want to take this business? Where do we want to go with it? What are our core values? What do we believe in as far as this business and what we're trying to accomplish with it? Our mission, this is what we're doing. This is what we are. Goals, well, we want to develop. If we understand our mission, our vision, our core values, it makes it much easier to develop goals and to have a business strategy as to who are our clients and how we're going to go about getting them. And that is very high level. If we understand our purpose, that's going to make it much easier for us to direct our efforts in specific areas and to be able to be very competitive in those areas. We also, a lot of construction businesses, small construction businesses, more along the renovation, custom home side, or maybe it's trades. You're a trade like a plumber or a electrician and you want to start your own construction business. You really have to understand the financial side of it. And a lot of tradespeople that start a construction business, that's not their thing. And so they really don't understand the financials that well. Well, it's worth the time and effort to gain a pretty good understanding. You don't have to be an accountant and an expert in it, but you do have to know the fundamentals. And then you do need to hire very good people like an accountant that will help you with the financial side of it. But you really do have to have a good understanding of the base points of it. Income statement, what are the inflows and outflows of cash during a year? So the cash flow, income statement, how much sales did we make in a year? How much of that went towards direct material costs, direct labor costs? What's our overhead? What kind of profit targets are we shooting for? Balance sheet, kind of like what's our net worth of our business at this point in time, gives us some good understanding of the fundamentals of the business. And you can run a bunch of, if you understand the different ratios, they're pretty easy to run on these statements so that you have a good understanding. How long is it taking you to pay your bills? How long is it taking for you to collect? Return on investment concept. You know, if we're putting so much money into this, what's our potential return? What are the risks that are involved? And running out different financial models. That can be very, very helpful when you're in a construction business starting out and as you run it on an ongoing basis. We also have to think about the external environment. I think over the recent past, with things like COVID and going back to the financial crisis of 2008, you know, the external environment throws a lot of things at a business, and having an understanding how that impacts our business can also help us when we're talking about purpose and business strategy. What kind of risks we're taking with return on investment. And is there political risks that might change how easy it is to develop land if you're a developer, for example? Geographic location, you know, is your area where there's a lot of immigration to your area because it's really in demand. I'm thinking my own location, Toronto. We've really been expanding over the last 25 years at a very rapid rate because we're a very attractive international city. Or some places, though, you have net loss of people. They're going elsewhere. That could make it more difficult. So these are external things that go on in your environment. Social, what are people's beliefs? You know, climate change, and how is that affecting how regulatory authorities view things? You know, increases in codes. That can, in the increases in code requirements for energy efficiency, for example, that can constrain certain areas, but it can be very opportunistic too for businesses, meaning that if you really get good at understanding, you know, building net zero houses, that can be an opportunity that you can actually stake a claim on. So understanding how the external environment works, its ebbs and flows, understanding that things are not static is very important to being successful in a business. Economic changes, you know, if we go into a recession, that can have impacts on whatever strategy that you had developed. Marketing, well, you know, all of these are important elements, and you know, this really means nothing. This really means nothing if you have no idea of how to get clients and what you have to do to get clients and how to retain those clients and how to get more projects, as I was saying in the very beginning. So marketing plays a big role. You know, there's basically the 4 P's, which is place, price, product, and promotion that comes into play. Are you a business to business or a business to consumer? I mentioned earlier, maybe you're a plumbing contractor, maybe you're an electrical subcontractor, maybe you're a drywall contractor. Well, business to business means you're going to be working with general contractors. So that's a little bit different than business to customer. If I'm working with a general contractor, if I'm a plumbing contractor and I get in that this general contractor really likes to work with me and I like to work with them, you're going to get a certain amount of work every year from that general contractor as long as you provide competitive pricing. That's marvelous for you. That means you don't have to go out looking for that business as much as you would if it's a consumer. You've got to get new consumers. Yes, you may have repeat business on consumers, but they may not be repeating every year. They might not need something for 4 or 5 years. So what do you do in between, right? So it's a little bit different how you approach things. Or maybe you're a plumbing business and you want to do some business to consumer. You know, drains are clogged, faucets need changing, showers need changing, etc. Maybe you even want to act as a GC on some projects because most of the work is in your zone. So that could be business to consumer. And maybe you want some of the business to be with GCs. So you have a little bit of stability. You have 40% or 50% of your business coming from GCs and 40 or 50% coming from consumers. So you're a little bit more diversified. If you lose a general contractor, it's okay. You've got all these other points of contact. That's the other thing. Has your business diversified enough, or you've got all of your eggs in one basket? That might be a problematic if that basket disappears. You have to have good negotiation and sales skills to be able to turn leads into actual contracts. You have to be able to figure out how you're going to get those leads, where you want to promote yourself. Do you want to have a YouTube channel where you explain certain aspects of the business and that gets attracted by consumers or other contractors? There's all sorts of different ways that you can go about positioning your business. And then we have our HR and people and culture. Well, as your business expands, you have to hire people. You know, if you're a one-person show and you're a plumber and you start a business and you're just doing general repairs, but then as the business grows, you need to have another plumber. You need to get off the tools. You need to be able to manage the project properly. Or maybe you never were from a tradesperson. Maybe you come from a construction management background and you're running the business and you have to add to staff. Well, you're going to have to add people, and how you hire them, who you hire, the way that you train your people, the way you interact and engage with your people, how you manage your management practices, your leadership style. All of these things are going to come into play to form a culture. And you want to ensure that you have really good engagement with your people, that they are also motivated in the work that they do. The best is if you hire people that are already motivated and you make sure you don't do something that demotivates them. That's, as Jim Collins would say, one of the primary things. Get the right people on the bus, then decide where to drive the bus, and get the right people in the right seats doing the right things. All of these things come into play to effectively run your business. So human resource management, people and culture, that's an important, very, very important part. You have the wrong people, you're going to have a lot of difficulty growing this business and creating an effective culture that's going to add value to your clients and make you be able to be successful over the long run. Also, as your business grows, you need to have systems. You need to have a methodology about how you do things, routines, so that basically successes that you have on one project can be repeated much more accurately and much more sustainably on other projects. So once you get systems built in and processes built in, it becomes much more easy to run your business effectively, also to scale it, because now you've got all these systems and processes in place. It makes it easier to grow the business. If everything's kind of ad hoc, one off, it's very, very inefficient. It's very, very draining on your staff. You want to have things that are, you want the easy things to be easy, and you don't want them to be laborious, so that you can save your mental strength for the more complex things that really do need that kind of focus, combination of teamwork that we were mentioning in sort of people and culture to be successful. So fundamentally, these are important aspects to be successful at running a construction business. Now, I did in other videos discuss the relationship between owner, client, architect, engineer, general contractor, and I've also looked at things from a project level. So you can look at some of my other videos on these topics. You can look under my playlists, under the project management tips list, and see many other videos in the construction management and business management areas. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, leave an example, and click the notifications and like icons for me, and that helps us to better build our construction community, as we're really trying to get the word out on how to be professional and how to really have successful careers in the construction industry. I'm Tom Stevenson, wishing you all the best, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.